What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my Draftkings MMA picks for UFC 298. We got Alexander Volkanovski going against Ilia Topuria. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to this card. We have a 12-fight card here. Loving the mid-range. We'll talk about a lot of fighters in the mid-range. We'll talk about what to do up top. And yeah, should be a fun card overall and a fun card from a DraftKings perspective as well. Can't wait to break it down. Before we do so, if you guys could please do me a couple favors, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Be sure to check out dfsbythenumbers.com. There you'll find all my other DFS content. There you'll find my fighter stats, targets, projections, rankings, ownership projections, lineup optimizer, DraftKings article, prize picks article, you name it. Check it out at dfsbythenumbers.com. Tons of content behind the scenes, and it does go a long way with the support. Appreciate everybody that has signed up. But yeah, other than that, check out Prize Picks. Use promo code DFSBTN. Get yourself a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. We'll touch on my Prize Picks play of the week later in the show. Last week we hit the Hyder Emil more than significant strikes. We'll see if we can hit this one. But I think that's about it, guys. I say we get right into it. We're going to start with the fight doesn't go to decision lines. Couple big ones here. We got Zhang Mingyang going against Brenson Ribeiro, a fight that I absolutely think finishes inside the distance. Both these guys are all offense, zero defense, especially Zhang Mingyang. I mean, this guy has a brick forehead. He comes forward, eats punches with his face, has a ton of power. Like I said, all offense, no defense type of guys. They're going against each other. I think the matchmakers did a phenomenal job. This is a fight that I think is going to have some ownership, but in reality, this fight should be so much higher owned than I think it's going to be because nobody knows who Zhang Mingyang is, and nobody probably knows who Brenson Ribeiro is. I know he's a Contender Series guy, but yeah, I think somebody's getting served here. We got a fight in the mid-range. I think the winner scores very well with a first-round finish. It's hard to have confidence in either side, but what I am confident in is a finish in this one. Next, we got Marcos Rogerio de Lima going against Justin Tafa. This is a heavyweight fight. Both guys are live to take the other guy's head off, so for that reason, it's a fight that I'm interested in targeting. But Marcos Rogerio de Lima, I do think, has more ways to win this fight with his wrestling, with his grappling. He is a BJJ black belt, and Justin Tafa's ground game has not been tested yet in the UFC, and I have a feeling that Justin Tafa probably isn't the best off his back. So yeah, if Marcos Rogerio de Lima can get this fight down, I think he could do some good work on the mat. But on the feet, like I said, both guys have a ton of power. Both guys are live to land a big shot. I do lean towards that Marcos Rogerio de Lima side at 8,500, but Justin Tafa's absolutely a live dog with the amount of power that guy has. Next, we have a fight that I'm really looking forward to. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez going against Roman Kopylov. The fight doesn't go to decision, minus 325. And yeah, striker versus grappler matchup. We're on the feet. Kopylov is live to land a body kick, live to land a head kick, and knock out Anthony Hernandez, who's been knocked out once and has also been club and sub. You know, Anthony Hernandez, weak to the body, has been finished to the body multiple times in his career. And then in terms of Anthony Hernandez, he's going to have just a significant advantage on the ground. I mean, a significant advantage. We saw what Albert Durai was able to do to Roman Kopylov. We saw what Carl Roberson was able to do to Roman Kopylov. So I just think whoever's going to get their way is going to put up a massive score in this one. I do like the Anthony Hernandez side. It's hard not to, but Roman Kopylov is a live dog if he's able to keep this upright or land a big shot at some point in the fight. And then finally, we got Danny Barlow going against Josh Quinlan. Yeah, I like Barlow here, 8,700. This guy has a ton of power. Josh Quinlan, I think, is very hittable. I think it's kind of a tough matchup for Quinlan. But on the flip side, though, Quinlan does have some solid power. He is a BJJ black belt. Maybe he can put that to use there. But I think Danny Barlow probably does go out there and get a knockout early on, and for that reason, I do have more interest in him. But Josh Quinlan, 7,500. If he does go out there, wrestle and have success with the wrestling, maybe he can pay off that price tag. Maybe he can get a sub, but I'm more so on the Barlow side myself. We'll get into the core plays here. Rinya Nakamura, 9,600. You know, a lot of times when we have guys priced up this high, you know, a lot of people try to outright fade the guy. And I think he's going to be very high owned, obviously, but you know, I think people are going to make some cases to fading Rinya, and maybe you can, but I just feel like on this card, there are so many live dogs. Like, you can make a case for a lot of these dogs, and a lot of even like the low salary dogs, I think, are in play this week. So I've had no problem whatsoever getting Rinya Nakamura just into a ton of lineups. I've had no problems doing so whatsoever. I think in cash games, you got to play him. This guy's anywhere from minus 1,000 to minus 1,350 on the money line. He has takedown upside upside. I think finish upside. He's going against Carlos Vera, who just has no takedown defense. He's been subbed twice. I like Randy Nakamura to go out there and put up a very big score. Alexander Volkanovski, 8,200. Yeah, I'm on the Volkanovski side this week. It's weird seeing Alexander Volkanovski at 8,200 in the featherweight division. We just don't see it. Topuria is a great fighter, very dangerous, just very unproven in my opinion. I mean, going out there and beating Bryce Mitchell and Josh Emmett, they're solid wins, but Alexander Volkanovski's beaten Max Holloway 3 times. He's beaten Yair Rodriguez. He's beaten Brian Ortega. He's beaten Jose Aldo. He's beaten all these guys, right? Topuria, Josh Emmett win. It is what it is. This is a big step up in competition for him, and I want to get a lot of Volk here. With that said, though, we'll talk about Topuria in a little bit. Yeah, he's 8K. He has a ton of power. Maybe Volk his chin is gone, and if it is, maybe Topuria can knock him out, but I have a decent amount of Volkanovski this week. I'm going to be 100% exposed to the main event and pretty close to it. Not completely fading Topuria, nothing like that, but I'm going to be probably like 65, 35, around that area is kind of what I'm aiming for this main event. Then we got Anthony Hernandez, we talked about a little bit, 8,800. This guy's insane, man. I mean, the cardio, the pressure, the pace. Kopulov's taking this fight on short notice. I don't like that. Hernandez landing almost 7 takedowns per 15 minutes, which is just ridiculous. We'll talk about Merab in a second here. On average, he's landing more takedowns per 15 minutes than Merab Dvalishvili, which just saying that out loud just sounds insane, but it's true. This guy has gotten like 22 takedowns in his last 3 fights, and he's going against a striker here in Kopylov, who on paper has a 92% takedown defense, but it's against Punahele Soriano, Albert Duraev, Josh Frem, etc., etc. I think Hernandez does get takedowns here. I think he wears on Kopylov. I think he breaks him, and I think he finishes him in the second or third round. And if he does that, he is going to put up a massive score. So love me some Anthony Hernandez at 8,800. Merab Dvalishvili, 8,600. You have to talk about Merab. Just the way this guy fights, the cardio, the pressure, the pace, the volume, all of it. This is a guy who attempted 49 takedowns in his last fight. I know that was 5 rounds, but still, I mean, that's incredible. On top of that, he attempted over 400 strikes in that fight. So not only can Merab go out there and attempt like 20 to 30 takedowns if he wants to, he can go out there and just land a lot of strikes, land a lot of significant strikes, land a lot of strikes, get a lot of control time. The way this guy fights, he's a DraftKings monster. He really is. Only 80,600, so we don't have to pay a ton for him. My concern is Cejudo does stuff a lot of these takedowns, but even if he does stuff a lot of these takedowns, he's still probably getting taken down several times. So, yeah, Merab Dvalishvili, I like the DraftKings upside he brings to the table this week. I'm going to play a decent amount of him. GPP plays here are tournament plays. We got Danny Barlow, 8,700. Nicknamed Left Hand to God, and Left Hand to God for a reason. This guy has a very powerful left hand. He knocks guys out. He has a nice head kick as well that I've seen him land. But yeah, this is a guy that he's going to have opportunities here to find a knockout against Josh Quinlan, who's just very hittable. Going back and watching Josh Quinlan's last fight against Trey Waters, which is a very, very bad look to me. This is a guy in Josh Quinlan with the 50% strike and defense, blocks punches with his face, and you don't want to block punches with your face against a guy that hits as hard as Danny Barlow. I don't think Barlow has any wrestling, grappling upside, nothing like that, but I think he does have some really good knockout upside in the first or second round here. So I like Danny Barlow, 8,700. Marcos Rogério de Lima, 8,500, another guy that I think has some pretty solid upside here. It could be a first-round knockout, but could also be a wrestling-heavy game plan. We've seen in multiple fights. One of the last fights with Waldo Cortez Acosta was able to take him down multiple times, was able to take down Maurice Green multiple times, win a decision, has some submission upside here. He's a BJJ black belt as well. So just a lot more ways to win here for Marcos Rogério de Lima, 8,500, knockout upside, submission upside, and decision upside. Like all the upside here for Marcos Rogério de Lima outside of him getting clipped in the first round, which is on the table. It's a heavyweight fight. Zhang Ming Yang, 8,400. This is the toughest fight to call on the card, but it's not tough to play a lot of these guys in your lineups this week. Zhang Ming Yang, this is a guy with a 100% finish rate, has never won a decision, and after watching this guy, I can absolutely see why. All offense, no defense. Like the striking defense is probably some of the worst striking defense you'll ever see. He willingly eats punches with his face, and you can't do that in the light heavyweight division, but Brenson Ribeiro kind of does the same thing. Brenson Ribeiro is very hittable in his own right. Ribeiro makes a ton of mistakes. Ribeiro ends up on bottom a lot. And if that's the case, Zhang Mingyang can get a knockout on the feet, on the mat as well. So yeah, this is a guy you have to play, but you have to play both sides. You can't have confidence in either guy, but I'm confident and scores very well. And then Ilia Topuria, 8,000. Yeah, this is a guy that has a 90% finish rate, 86% finish rate. His 2 decision wins come against Josh Emmett and Yusuf Salal. But yeah, he has a ton of power. He's a BJJ black belt, and he's going against Volkanovski, who is the featherweight GOAT, but just got knocked out not too long ago. Volkanovski is getting up there in age at 35 years old. So yeah, if Topuria does land a big shot and knock out Volk at 8K, he's going to score very well. I'm personally picking Volk here, like I said earlier, but it's going to be a split of, I'm thinking 65-35 in favor of Volk. I don't want to go 60-40. I'm thinking 65-35 in favor of Volk there, but I will be having some Ilia Topuria. All right, next we got the Prize Picks Play of the Week. We hit the last couple, I believe. I'll see if we get this one there. We got Robert Whittaker less than an 87.5 fantasy score. I think this fight goes the full 15 minutes. I think Robert Whittaker maybe lands a takedown, maybe, but I don't think it's all that likely even. Costa has great takedown defense, and I was just looking through Robert Whittaker's last several fights. He doesn't land a ton of volume at all. So I really don't see him even touching 87.5. He's not finishing Paulo Costa's next level durable. So I think Whittaker wins the decision. I think he probably even makes it look somewhat easy, but I don't think he's going to go out there and land 100 plus significant strikes. I don't think he's going to get multiple takedowns. I don't think he's defending takedowns here. So 87.5 seems a little bit high for my liking. Taking the less there. If you guys want to check that out, use promo code DFSBTN on Prize Picks for your 100% deposit match bonus. Moving on, live dogs. We have a ton of live dogs. I could have made a list of 6 here, but these are my favorite 4. Mackenzie Dern, 7,900. Striker versus grappler matchup. Can you be confident in Dern? No, but if she does win this fight, it's probably going to be a submission win. We've seen Lemos submitted before. Lemos's takedown defense isn't that great, and Dern has terrible wrestling, terrible ability to get the fight down the ground, but it only takes one, right? She can pull guard. Maybe she is able to get a takedown. And if this fight hits the mat, I don't care how it hits the mat, but if it does hit the mat, she's live for that sub. 7,900, I don't hate it. Brenson Ribeiro, 7,800. You got to have it. You got to have it. This is a guy with a 100% finish rate going against a walking punching bag and Zhang Mingyang. Somebody's getting knocked out probably in the first round. And at 7,800, give me that first round upside. Justin Tafa, 7,700. Another guy with probably first round upside. If he wins this fight, it's probably him knocking out Marcus Rogério de Lima in the first round. And at 7,700, that's a pretty dang good score there. The only thing I don't like is de Lima doesn't really get knocked out that much. I know he got knocked out by Derek Lewis in his last fight, but that was the very first time I think he's ever even been knocked down in the UFC. So maybe Tafa can land a big shot here. That's kind of what I'm banking on if I'm putting him in my lineups this week at this price tag, but at least he's an underdog here at 7,700. And then Roman Kopylov, 7,400. Striker versus grappler matchup. I don't like this matchup for him, but if he's able to actually stuff these takedowns, keep this fight at range, he has a very good chance to win this fight. Fluffy's been hurt to the body multiple times. Kopylov attacks the body very well. Punches, kicks, and also has a nasty head kick, and I don't care how tough Fluffy Hernandez is. If he gets head kicked, he's probably going down. But yeah, it comes down to the takedown defense. Will he be able to stuff takedowns? We'll have to see. If he does, this $7,400 price tag looks very good. And then some pump plays. Jeff Neal, 7,100. Puncher's chance, really. I mean, both these guys. Ian Gary hasn't been knocked out yet, but he's been knocked down. Ian Gary's striking defense is definitely a question mark, a concern. Jeff Neal does have just a crazy amount of power. Yeah, if Jeff Neal wins, it's got to be a knockout. He's not winning a decision against Gary, I don't think. And then Val Woodburn, same thing. Puncher's chance. This guy has a lot of power. Oban Elliott, his opponent's been knocked out twice in his career. Val Woodburn is cutting down a weight class for the first time in his career as well, so we'll have to see him on the scales. But yeah, I mean, if you're playing Val Woodburn, you're looking for a knockout. I don't think anybody's going to play him this week. He's not the worst pump play in the world. Paulo Costa, 7,200, another pump play you can mention just because if he wins, it's probably a knockout against Robert Whittaker. So yeah, I think a lot of these guys down low do have a puncher's chance. Not really confident in any of them, though. The fade is Robert Whittaker. Kind of like to talked about for the Prize Picks play. I don't see much wrestling upside, if at all. I don't see a finish here. I don't think he's finishing Paulo Costa, who's extremely durable. I think he wins the decision. I don't think he has great volume. I think he's a great fighter, but the volume's not there. The wrestling, I don't think it's going to be there against Costa, and then I don't think there's going to be a finish. I think there's much better plays at 9K this week. And there you guys have it. Thank you so much for watching. If you could, leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Check out dfsbythenumbers.com. You'll find my fighter stats, targets, projections, rankings, ownership projections, lineup optimizer, DFS article, prize picks article. Everything's already out. So I was able to get everything done for this week already. I love when they get the salaries out early because I do my research like Sundays, Mondays at the latest. So I like when they get the salaries out early, able to complete my content early and get it out to you guys. So that's already out there. Be sure to check it out. And best of luck, everybody, for UFC 298. Should be a fun card and a fun DraftKings slate as well. See you guys later.